Are you driving around with headlights that don't look like that? And no, that's not a brand new headlight. I just polished it. Let me show you how to do it in this video. All right, welcome back to my channel. By the way, I did tell you we bought another van. Okay, it's not a classic Econoline van, but it is a van, and I like the way both doors open up on the side, and it's kind of like what is it, the Blackhawk, like a Blackhawk. That's it. Opens up both doors, slides in, you go all the way through, just like a Blackhawk. Anyways, today we're going to talk about a safety issue that buying this van, one of the things that I noticed, and I've had to fix before, and I've tried a couple different hacks, and none of them seem to work, so I just wanted to share with you how I fix it and how it really works. So, as you can see, the headlights on this van, like most older vehicles, looks crummy and crappy. You know, it's just weather beat. And what happens is that all the stuff on the road hits this thing from the front of the vehicle, and the headlights get a little bit dinged up, and this oxidization actually builds into the plastic. But what you got to do, I've seen people try toothpaste, I've tried all kinds of different stuff, but the best thing in the world is very simple. You've got to do the work. It doesn't take long, and the work involves using a kit. And the kit that I like to use, and I've used quite a few times, is the M3, what do they call it? The Ultra Headlight Restoration Kit. And Amazon, 16, 17 bucks, and you're good to go. I'll put a link down below, because after you watch how well this thing works, you're going to want to do this to your vehicle if your headlights are starting to look crummy. This is also a safety issue. If you can't see well when you're using the headlights, it's not going to be good. So anyways, let me get into starting to show you what's in the box, and then we'll go from there. Look at that, it says 40 minutes. We're going to try to beat that time frame. I don't think it's going to take 40, but let's talk about what you need and what comes in the box. All right, so what comes in this box? A couple things. One is going to be a roll of green tape. This tape is supposed to be like paint sensitive. You're basically going to put it around the headlight on the painted surfaces. If you have a painted surface that's flaking or loose, you probably don't want to use this. It will pull that paint off. On this van, I don't care too much, as the van really needs to be sanded and painted, you know, totally green, of course. So that's what will be happening one day in there. But tape comes with it. Now, you also get this piece for your drill, because it's got Velcro on the back and it just goes in your drill, because this is what you're going to use. These pads are actually Velcro pads, and that's what you're going to use. So, and then you're going to get 3 sets of pads. Okay, well, not, this is kind of one, but let me show you. You're going to get these gold ones. Now, this is your first pad that you're going to start with, and it is, where's a good one? It is 500 grit, and it's gold. These are the ones you're going to start with. You're going to start with those pads. Then once you get it cleaned up to a certain point, then you're going to step up to these white ones, which is actually an 800 grit pad. And then for your last and final thing, you're going to use a 3000 grit, this one pad that comes with it, and it will actually polish out the headlight once you get everything else done. The other thing is you get this handy dandy glove. You only get one glove, so be careful with it. And the glove is actually to protect you, because when you're all said and done and you polished out your headlight, you're actually going to apply 2 coats of sealer to your headlight. And if you watch this video, as far as the instructions go, you won't need these. They come with instructions with pretty little pictures, but just you watch the video, you won't need those, okay? So anyways, let's get started. Oh, the other thing you're going to need is a drill. I recommend, you know, I'm a Milwaukee man again, so I recommend Milwaukee, but any drill will work. You can go to Harbor Freight and pick up a $19 drill, as long as it will hold up this little, that didn't work out quite the way we wanted it. As long as it will hold up the chuck, that's it. So, all right, let's get started. You'll see how easy this is. 30 minutes max, you're done. Okay, one other thing that I forgot, and I'm going to give a shout out to my sister-in-law, Ann. She bought me this amazing cup. It's actually duct tape, and it's been epoxied. But the one thing that you cannot forget is coffee. This is iced coffee I actually made, so thank you, sis. This is an amazing cup. I love it. Let's get back to work. All right, so as you can see, we got a very nasty looking headlight. The first thing you're going to want to do is clean it, because as we're polishing it, there's no sense in us polishing against dirt. So just get you some good cleaner. Doesn't have to be anything special. And just wash the headlight really well. And what you're trying to feel for while you're scrubbing it is it feels a little smoother when you get done actually cleaning it. So, I mean, you're just trying to get the dirt and nasty off of it. That's all you're really trying to do at this moment. Now, I typically just do one headlight at a time. You could do multiple, both of them if you want to, but and by the way, this kit's made for the headlights, but it does say that you could use it on tail lights. There's just another set of instructions on it, and the tail lights never seem to really be that nasty on these things. So, step one, wash your headlight real quick. I'm gonna wash this one and the other one. All right, is that little roll of tape. Now, there's nothing special about this tape other than the fact that it's, you know, it just comes with the kit. You could use a standard blue painter's tape. You just want something that's not gonna try to take off the paint. Now, I'm just gonna use a razor blade to actually cut it, but the tape is fairly easy to use. And what you're gonna try to do is you want to put it in such a way that it just protects the paint on the vehicle. Just like that. And then wrap it underneath. And you can rip it. I mean, it's fairly easy to rip. So now once you have it all the way taped around it, as you can see, just kind of tape it and fold it underneath. You're just creating a place so that as you're sanding, you don't, or actually cleaning the lens, that you're not going to rub the paint. This car, I really don't care that much. However, I just want to show you what it looks like as you're doing this. So that's what it's going to look like. All right, so for the next part, put the pad, the chuck in your drill. And then your pads, like I said, you're going to start with the gold one, which is the 500 grit. Now you get a pretty good stack of these. You don't have to be one, two, three, four, five, six. So you have 3 per, headlight you could use. What I recommend is, take 3 out and put three to the side for the next headlight. But if you need to, use all 3. What you're trying to do as you polish this headlight or sand this headlight, essentially, is the more time you spend with one of these and the next level, the better the polish will be in the long run. So take one of the disc, set your other ones off to the side, and then what you're going to do is just basically attach it just like that. And then what you're going to do, start this other camera so you guys can see. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to place it against the headlight, just like so. And as you're doing that, you want to try to make sure to keep it flat. Don't dig into the headlight, but keep it flat. So here we go. Now you'll start seeing a lot of dust come off of it, whiteness, and that's actually perfectly fine. That's what it's supposed to do. Now, as you can see, the pad gets pretty nasty. When it feels like it's doing that, just pull it off and get you another pad. Now you can turn your drill on slower if you'd wish to, because all you're trying to sand, you're not trying to speed drill it. Now, if you can feel it start smoothing with this, now it'll look white. It'll look white as can be. Just keep going. Take your time. Take your time. And believe it or not, as you're doing this, you will feel it start to smoothen out on when you're doing it with the drill. Now, take your last pad. Once you think you have it really well, I typically will take the last pad and I will actually take a clean cloth and wipe some of the dust off, just like that. And you should start seeing a white, just like a really hazy look on it. But let me finish this last pad on there. There you go. That's the first one down. So take those, now that you've done that, clean that headlight off a little bit, get the dust off of it. And what you'll notice is that headlight looks really, really just completely like you can't see hardly anything in it, and that's fine. That's exactly what we want. And if you look, I don't know if you can see it, there's tiny scratches, but as you run your hand over it, you'll feel it really smooth. That's what you kind of want. All right, so the next one is you're gonna go get the 800, the white pads. And it's kind of weird, I don't know why, I only got 3 in here, but that's fine. I mean, these, if you spend a little bit more time with those, this will be a lot better. So same concept, just put it on here, and then just do the same thing. Make sure to try to keep it as flat as possible when you're doing, not too much pressure. You're just wanting the pad to do all the work, so let's do that. And you're trying to take out some of those rougher scratches that you just put in. Every so often, just wipe it off. There's no sense in doing that dust again and again and again, so, you know. Now while you're doing this, you'll start noticing that it's looking a little clearer every time. So let's take this one, and we're going to do the same thing. All right, now as you feel that, it'll be smooth. I mean, that feels really nice. Now I'm gonna leave this pad for the next headlight. So what is next is this 3000 grit, and it almost feels like it's not doing anything, or it won't. Now with the 3000 grit, the difference is gonna be, you're gonna put a little bit of water on this. So let me wipe this off. And actually what I'm gonna do is wash the lens with just plain old water, just like that, just to get the goop off. All right, now put a little bit of water on it. I'm just gonna dip it in the bucket and then just go to polishing. Now how you know this one's working well is you'll get, let's see if I can show you right up here. As you're doing it, you'll get this white pasty looking stuff on here. So when that starts to happen, all you're gonna do is take and add a little bit more water to it. Just like that. And once you're done with that, you should see a huge difference. Let's see. So that's that one. And I have not polished it. You know, I've got to apply the seal to it still. Versus that one. I think there's a little difference. That one versus that one. All right, so I'm gonna move over to the other side, knock that headlight out real quick, and then I'm gonna come back and finish putting the sealer on it. Once you put the sealer on it, that's when you'll see a huge difference. Now you have one step left, and that's that you gotta put the sealer on it, okay? Or the clear coat. You get 2 packs of clear coat. That is not one for each headlight, okay? You put 1 coat on both headlights, you let it dry, and then you come back and open up the second pack and do that. That's also what the glove's for, because this stuff is pretty sticky. Let me just show you. It still looks a little hazy, but that's why this comes in. So watch this. You will see it looking, it'll look like a new headlight. Now, the key to this thing too is don't unfold this. You don't need to. Just apply the coat carefully. Just make sure you get it on the headlight and try not to get it on anything else. Now, if you get some small runs in it or something, that's fine. Just, you know, go back over it, long strokes, and just, you know, and then let it dry. Don't mess with it. This is a good time to go get some of that coffee. Man, look at it. That's impressive. Look how clean that looks. Wow. All right. That looks nothing like that, like it did before. Wow. Let me see if I can get a little bit more of this stuff on there. You shouldn't play with it too much, just long strokes, because if you try to do it too many times, it could mess it up. So there again, I'm done with this one. I'm gonna throw it in the trash, and I'm gonna wait for this to dry, and while it's drying, I'm gonna drink some more of my coffee. All right, so it's been about 10 to 15 minutes, and it's dry to the touch. Now it's gonna say, depending on the humidity, in East Tennessee right now, it is humid. And it only took about 15 minutes for this to dry. So I'm opening the second pack, and and I'm going to take it out and go ahead and apply the final coat. And what it says in the instructions, just so you know, is to apply the coat in long swoops. The other thing is, if you see bubbles, you're going too fast, slow down, take your time, all right? And just do long motions. And once you do one headlight, go to the other one, knock it out. Give it about 15 minutes, and then we'll peel the tape off, and that's it. Look at that. That's impressive, all right? If you've ever looked at your headlights and thought, man, I just need to replace those, that's how a headlight should look. You know what I'm saying? Man, $16, half hour of work max. I'd say max. The only reason it took me longer is because I had to show you guys. All right, let's go ahead and peel the tape off and be done with this thing. Simple little job. Made a mound of difference too. All right, we're done. Look at those. Look at that. And no, those aren't new headlights. Those are polished. Look at that. If your headlights are looking like when we started, it's a safety issue. You really need to take care of that. I mean, this is the vehicle my wife drives all the time. I want her to be able to see, you know, when she's driving. And those other headlights, it wasn't cutting it. But man, that's impressive.